Welcome to the Old Loomis channel again. Today I'm going to do a little um, first look and mini review of a knife sharpening system that I just picked up. I've been looking for something since I'm starting to play around with knives to sharpen them. I used to always do them with stones, but I'm getting to where I really probably can't do that myself anymore. So I wanted to have a system, and I've read a lot about the Apex Edge Pro, but of course that's a wealthy man's game, and that's not possible for a lot of people. Well, there's a lot of clones out there, as there naturally are. Every time someone develops something and charges an exorbitant price for it, it's not too far behind that you find a bunch of clones coming up at very low prices so that people can afford them. This one is being shown on Amazon as called the Image Pro. But in reality, on the box, when it came in, it's called the Ruxin, well, R-U-I-X-I-N, Ruxin Pro Angle Knife Sharpener. It's called the Image Pro in Amazon, and it's listed for like $33. And so I'm going to tear this system, or open this box up and show everything that comes inside, and then try to set it up and see if I can figure out how to use it. Okay, so what came in the box is the basic components of the unit. First of all is a manual, and in the manual, first thing it does is give a little blow-up description of some of the different parts. Basically, you have the guide section, okay, the knife guide section. You have the stone arm. That's the arm to be using with a stone to sharpen the blades. There's the base, the suction cup base. There's a blue towel that comes with it. This is the pivot arm assembly, and then in this bag here are 4 stones and and it looks like a marker of some type as well. Yeah, a pen marker. So anyways, the manual looks to be several pages long, and I'm going to go ahead and go through and look through the setup instructions first of all, and then try to set this thing up. Okay, well, it looks like a little assembly is in order here, and the first thing I see is that this base here, suction cup base, has got to have this assembly hooked to it. So it looks like there's a screw here that I'll have to take out in the front, and then this assembly with the ball is going to have to fit into that, and it looks like there's you can see the 2 holes there, and the 2 guides fit right in there, and then the screw and the nut and the whole thing will mount on top of there, so I'll work on getting that to work. Okay, so I've set this assembly together here and put the base down, and you can see the ball, the pivot ball allows you to move this around all different directions. On the back side here there's 2 holes. One is for a supporting bar, alright, and the other is for the the pivot base, or pivot shaft, okay, hole. And this one has a shaft with the different marks in it for the different degrees, starting at 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So the first thing is I just take this and move it around until I set that base down snug, that supporting bar down snug, and then I can tighten this down a little bit here. Then I'll take and use this rod, and I'm going to set it for, according to the specifications, to start with it at 15 degrees. 15 degrees would be the yellow mark right here, and I'm going to line that with the top of this and then tighten the nut down on it. Okay, that's the next step. Then I'm going to take a look at sorry about that, at how I'm going to set up this the actual stone assembly and the stone arm and all that, and see how that fits in. So that's the next thing to do. Okay, the stone arm fits right into this pivot arm right here, okay, and it'll slide back and forth. The stone itself is spring loaded. You can adjust the tension, take some tension off it. But basically, you just pull back on this one piece right here. You can just change your stones out that way. Right there, the stones are tapered at both ends, so you can just fit the stone in there and pop it right in place without any problem. Right there, okay. Then, like I say, right now we're set at the 15-degree setting, but we're not going to really do any cutting. What we're going to do is we're going to take a knife and set it up on this table, and then we're going to mark it and touch it just to see how close we are to the angle of the knife that's already there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm setting up this knife where I can run a pass over the bevel of the blade with a stone to see with a marker. I've taken the marker that comes with this. I've marked the bevel edge on this knife. It's just you can see where the edge is cut right there. Of course, it's an old knife and it's had a lot of bevel edges done on it. But I'm going to set that here on this holder on this table, and then I'm going to bring the stone down, and I'm going to touch to see where I hit. Okay, and what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to look and see, well, am I too low, too high, and that kind of thing. Well, I can tell right now that I'm a long ways off of 15 degrees. This is such a thin knife that I'm imagining I'm going to be even lower than 10 degrees, but I'm going to try 10 degrees next. Okay, so I've gone to 10 degrees. I've lowered this arm down, that rod down to go to 10 degrees, and touched across the blade, and I can see that right now at 10 degrees I'm hitting right here, and that's about where I normally, so you can see that's about where I normally be sharpening anyways. I'm not sharpening up in here, so I'm going to just stick with that 10 degrees on that, and I'm going to work this blade on that 10 degree edge, okay, on the bevel, and see what I get. So this stone has used water, and I'm going to wet the stone away from the table assembly and where the water can run off it, and then I'm going to set the knife up and draw across the knife with the stone the way I think it should be from what I see in the pictures. I have not watched any videos on this, and I haven't done one of these in probably 35 years, so I imagine I'm not going to do it right, and I'm not going to worry about it too much with this knife. So I'm going to wet the stone down, okay. I'm going to get the blade, and I'm going to get it up here, and then I'm going to take and set the stone on the blade, and I'm just going to push and do that 3 or 4 times, and I'm going to drag back, push and drag back, push and drag back, push and drag back, and then I'm going to move the knife, and then again I'm going to push and drag back, and I'm going to move the knife again, and again, and then when I get down here I think I'll hold down in this area with it, and okay, I can tell you one thing I can see right now is with it 10 degrees, this plastic piece right here is hitting, okay. It's hitting and stopping the knife from hitting the blade from hitting right. So I would think I'd have to take that plastic piece off and learn how to go with just the bare metal to keep the knife in place. And I think that's, with a knife like this that's so thin and has such a low degree of an edge, especially when I got down here and noticed that I wasn't able to hit the way I wanted to. And now it looks like I can. Now I can hit across that the way I want. Okay. Then basically I'll be doing the same thing on the other side, and then I'll be moving to finer grains stones and see what happens. Okay, the stones are 4 stones. Comes with 120, 320, 600, and 1500. I also bought extra set of stones to go with it. I can see it's going to take a little bit of technique before I get used to this, to using this at all properly, and may never really get it properly, but hopefully get it to where it'll work. Again, it's just a matter of learning how to move that stone across that blade and get it to cut all the way along. Okay, so it's getting better. I'm not dragging it back, I'm lifting, because for me that seems to work better. I don't think I need to be dragging it back. Lifting seems to work for me, and I think that's the way I'll probably intend on doing it. Anyways, that's the idea of how this works. I don't know a lot about sharpening knives. I don't sharpen knives very much. This one is going to need a lot more work at a lower grade because it was in really rough shape. But I would say, you know, it's as nice as. See, I tell you, hang on just a second here. Okay, what I've been using. This is a Smith's diamond hone, diamond stone, and just run it across there like that. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, that's as good as I need for a kitchen knife. We don't use them very much. I can see that with a lot of work, with a lot of time, and practice and all that kind of thing, a person can get really good with one of these. You know, I could probably get to where I could do a real first-rate job on one of these and really sharpen up that knife really nice, you know. I can see that might happen, but really all I got this for was to do knives that I'll be building, and they're not going to be done like a kitchen knife. I mean, they're going to be more like a 15, 20, 25, 30 degree cut on some of these hunting knives and that kind of thing. So I think for me that'll be a little better, but I can tell that the blade is going to need a lot more work before it's ever really what we considered sharp. But that the unit seems to work pretty nice. It's a little rickety, you know. It'll move around more than I thought. I mean, but not near as bad as I thought it would be for the price. And for the price of one of those Edge Pros versus this, unless I was sharpening knives every day, I guarantee I'd be using this. Stones are fine, there's nothing wrong with them, they'll work fine, and the unit itself seems to be robust enough to do a few household knives without any problem. So for the average user, once in a while, I think it's a nice little unit, and it's well priced at like 33 bucks. So that's all I got to say, and other than the fact that I was not paid for to a good review and did not receive this for free for a good review. Alright, thanks for watching.